Hi everyone, how are you today? Thank you. I'm particularly excited that you decided to take on this HR training. And I know that some people have been wondering why did I decide to take on this free course, knowing that outside there what you have are mostly paid HR courses. But I'd say that this was born out of personal yearning to be able to build an HR community of young professionals that are doing great in the field. And of course, I wouldn't take out the fact that I've had personal experiences where I've had to interview many HR professionals to take on some roles, and somehow it becomes quite daunting and disappointing to get quite qualified and experienced HR in the space. And by qualification, I don't mean just having the certificate, say IPN, SPHRI, or what have you. It's about knowing the job, hands-on experience, being either strategic, operational, or administrative. People who are very, very good at what they do, and then they are respected, at work. And one of the things that I've found out that has helped me so far in my career is the fact that I like to pride myself to having a very high work ethics. It has helped me to navigate some rough, paths on this journey. So, getting started, I shared a read. And I decided to do that because I noticed that in most of the interviews that I've had to, go for at that point, I wasn't the recruiter, I was a candidate you know, two questions. One, employee life cycle, and also what would you do in your first 30 to 90 days when you get on board? At some points, I've had to flop, but I grew, I got better. And I've also had to be the recruiter asking these questions, with HR professionals. And it's quite funny, the responses, excuse me, that you get along the line. So I feel that we'll be talking more about this, in the Saturday class. So please just go ahead and take on, digest, the pre-read that I have sent. So today is introduction, nothing serious, nothing that in depth. I want to believe that we all have, broad understanding of what HR is. If we've not had it on paper, maybe haven't done our certifications, or maybe we've done, we're looking for some upgrades. This is just to set the tone because it wouldn't be nice that we jump into the middle age and then we haven't found out, where we're coming from. So that's why I thought that we should talk about the introductory part. And my introduction is not having to do some history of HRs. I'll leave it to that. We'll be sharing resources along the line as we go in this path. We'll be sharing resources so you get to learn and know. But here I'm focusing on HR today, strategic HR, who has gone through administrative and operational, what the CEOs expect of HRs, what are HRs doing right now, and how we can be better for organizations. I know there are a lot of stories in organizations. Funny enough, I think when I took on my current role, one of the interns that I worked with who was like, "Modupe, why are you always taking on issue company rules like they always have HRs?" And I told her that actually it's not about the company. It's the fact that many organizations today, I can say like 98% are having HR issues. And in the 98% having the HR issues, they have HRs who are very certified on board. So the question would be, what's going wrong? What's happening? So that's why I want to build this community, and I'm hoping that you will help me be that change in our environment. I do things differently, honestly. I hope that you get to find out what it is. So our HR training for this month, I want to make it a recurrent. So for those who are unable to get on this time, don't you worry. We'll do another set of cohorts, and then from time to time, this will become the regular. And of course, after this, I'm looking to open up a community. I don't know if anyone would like that, where we share resources. So such that if you have issues ongoing in your organization, you can quickly come to the community and say, please, I'm stuck here. I need help. I need resources. I need templates to work with. And then we'll be able to help you quick and, it's just part of our little bit of a community. So this is me. This is who I am. I am just your regular HR. So, as I mentioned before, today we'll be taking on introduction to HR management. What do we mean by this? Now we're looking at recruitment and selection. I know we've heard these terms over and over again, so I'm hoping that I won't have to talk much on this. We already have prior knowledge. We're looking at HR administration, we're looking at training and development, we're looking at performance management, we're looking at employee relations, as well as your employees' health and safety. Introduction to HR management. If you're diving into HR, you should be comfortable with this. I hear a lot of people say, I hate recruitment. But in all honesty, this is where you begin. This is where everything pieces together. If you're recruiting the wrong people, then you'll be having exit management like all in all. Then your performance management will be down the drain, and then you keep training and training. Those are costs to the company. So you need to get your recruitment and selection right so that all other aspects of the HR manager of the value chain would ease out for you. You won't be running from pillar to post for trainings, for um, media review, quarterly OKRs, employee relations, health, people they are not balanced, wellness is not in place. So you need to be sure that if you're recruiting for certain roles, what are the key requirements for those roles? It is not because we just want to fill the metrics, HR analytics, time to fill ratio. Seriously, let's get over that. It is better for you to wait long to fill a role with the right person than to rush it. That's my mantra. When I started in recruitment as well, I was always looking to, oh, the MD wanted us to close out, close out. And I found out that as I was closing out, the candidates were closing in other places. So it's important for us to get this right. All of these are very important, and it's not just recruitment. As you have eyes on recruitment, you should have eyes on the rest of the value chain. So here's just a definition, just definition of what HR is. Let me put that one. Okay, so it's an organization's design of formal systems that ensures the effective and efficient use of the human talent to accomplish organizational goals. Now, HR is an essential function for any organization. See, ignore whatever you hear out there that what are HRs doing. Trust me, without HR, that organization is the working class. Trust me, they need HR. Maybe startups may think that oh we don't do it, we're still small in seed rounds and all of that. Okay, no problems. But as you grow and as you take your business very seriously, you realize that HR is just a must-have. Although the focus of human resources is the development of human capital, the significance of HR's contributions is now more apparent. I mentioned before, I'm not looking at HR as it was done before, or perhaps let me say HR as was done before COVID. I'm looking at how HR is done after COVID. Now HR takes a valid driver's seat cannot be shrugged aside or ignored. No, you are like the marketer, you're like the head of business development. You are the head business development HR, call it as you may. So the HR traditional function to provide advice, service, and control to organizations, yeah, and just be there. The HR of don't worry, I'll send you to HR now. Trust me, it's no longer like that. We'll send you to HR. Or I'll send HR to you, kind of thing. When we have our talent job buying, holding three, four jobs. So HR is like running after them to plead for them to come on board. You see like one candidate to like five recruiters. So that's one candidate to five companies. Seriously, it's getting that serious. So I shared something on the community. I shared like three different types of HR. We have the operational, strategic, and then administrative HR. I want to talk on briefly around this, and and maybe perhaps in our Saturday class, if you have questions, I will be more than willing to answer them. So, when you refer to operational HR, what does this mean? It involves both the development and deployment of HR policies to ensure successful implementation of HR strategy, which was set at the strategic level. So for HR operational, for some of us, we undertake HR operations where we are, but it doesn't mean that we're not part of the strategic HR for our organization. So sometimes I see HRs who say that I'm just operational. Oh no, you have to be all round. Honestly, I mean you can ignore strategic part because that's where you get the direction for the organization. If you're not tying the goals of the organization to your operational system, um, what are we doing? Nothing. So the development of HR policies includes activities such as recruiting for current job openings, resolving employee complaints, and communicating with employees. Now, how do you know what profiling to give to certain roles in the organization? Maybe perhaps you thought, oh, this role, the person that left, was a full manager, and then maybe there's a different direction for that role. How would you know? Even from the strategic area. So you need to be part of it. If they are not including you in your organization, begin to poke nose, begin to be interested, because that is what makes you more efficient, and that's what makes you like a great HR professional. If you ask me, I've been there. I'm a testament. They will not ignore you if you become this well-rounded. For example, part of the organizational strategy could involve building a global based and cultural diverse workforce. HR could use non traditional sources for recruitment and could require specific job skills, such as proficiency in other languages. How would you know that? You don't just expect them to hand over what they want. I mean, the hiring manager could just tell you, we need someone who can speak French and Swahili. Okay. And then you just go looking for someone who could do French and Swahili. Whereas perhaps someone who's just fluent in English can as well take on the job. But if you don't do your research, if you're not part of the strategic HR, you'll be walking a miss. And then it will seem like the organization is on one part, HR is on the others. Still moving on to HR operation. HR professionals could also increase employee engagement by following two actions: help employees develop better communication skills and channels. You can help them develop and carry out employee involvement strategies. In the deployment of HR policies, line managers are usually the people who apply these policies in the local management. Most of the time, I hear, no, 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 no. It is HR. HR warehouses the policy. HR is SOP. No. Yes, we draft it, we get the approvals, we are the owners. But then for implementation, the line managers are. You're not in every department. So you need them to be your eyes. Hence, you need to train the managers. You need to be sure that these managers are also carriers of the culture of the organization. If not, the work is undone. If you just write policies and think that you've communicated, you've done newsletters, and your line managers are just what else? What else do you have in stock? Trust me, HR's work is not done. So therefore, at the operational level, HR professionals need to work closely with the line managers to effectively deliver HR practices to their staff. Now, the HR practices deployed to employees should be consistent with the organization's internal policies, which means the overall goals, the culture. It should depict in details what the culture of the organization is. And you know that each organization with its own different ways and culture. So this approach allows employees to attain sufficient knowledge, skills, and abilities, their KSs, to perform the roles. Perform, perhaps more importantly, effective deployment of HR practices to strongly motivate employees to support the goals of the organization. That was operational HR. Now we're moving on to strategic HR. HR actually the strategy should come first before this because it follows from management to middle level and then down cascaded down to administrative. So when we refer to strategic HRs, we're referring to HR's role, which is long term and forward thinking. I mentioned I am particular about the HRs after COVID. That's the real HR right now, honestly. Mm. If you don't agree with me, well, unfortunately, that's the thought out there. That's what CEOs are looking at. HR professionals can help the organization create the right culture and build the right structure. Now, strategic HR activities include to help the organization prepare for change. If HR is already overwhelmed by the change, what do you think will happen to the organization? Wallowing and swimming in confusion. So HR needs to get the group and be able to help the organization. Hence, this kinds of training. Hence, the community I want to build. Such that if you feel that you're stuck, if you feel that you need help, trust me, just call on the community and they will be there to support. HR should be able to forecast needs for specialized skills, knowledge that will be required to achieve strategic goals. You don't wait for the line managers, you don't wait for management to say these are the kind of skills we need. You should be able to figure it out and tell them we may not be able to, fit this kind of candidates in. We need to diversify. We need to be able to have, like a diversity workforce. HR should be able to manage talent. I mean, HR should be like a secret port in the organization. It's not if they need to hear the latest gossip, go to HR's office. Really? No. They should know that once they come to you, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, no matter who's your friend, you've set that boundary. So setting boundaries is one of the most important skills that I've found out is needed in HR. Next is having a high work ethics. Please write this to them. Next will be restructure the organization. Of course, if there's a need to redeploy, realign for organizational strategic goals. Also to develop performance management systems that support strategic objectives. I'm so glad that one of my strengths is performance management. Although I usually don't do this course free, but I'm going to touch on this right here. I see that a lot of organizations are lacking in that. And I see that most HR professionals either run away from performance management or just perhaps don't really have knowledge of it. Well, I'm glad that you need this community. These are the ways that we can help build, this. So we move on to administrative HR. Now, this one, the responsibilities are treated as less important. But trust me, it is as important as the operational and strategic HRs. So now we've been able to see the three parts of HR: strategic, operational, and administrative. Honestly, you need to be able to function well in these three to be able to support the organization. But if not, they will keep looking for HR officers, they'll keep looking for HR executives, they'll keep looking for HR specialists, they'll keep adding and adding to the number because they just don't see the value you bring in. That's why they'll say, let's get HR manager. No, let's get a consultant because they just feel you just can do it. But if you have knowledge, specific knowledge in these three areas, and you've been able to demonstrate it, communicate it, honestly, whew, you're like a hot cake. Okay, so this is more of HR administration. What they do is because organizations feel that this role, administrative HR, is not that important, they decide to outsource some functions such as benefit plan, payroll, recruitment, HMOs, trainings, legal to other people. I just know our HRs they don't know it. Really? But honestly, if you can take on this, it takes some pain, it takes some hard work, it takes some extra lessons, extra learning. And I will not say unlearn and learn. No, it requires a lot of learning, a lot of extra sources for you to be able to get here. But if you're able to dive in and do this, trust me, you will be that person who changes things in the organization. And then your name would always be called at any point in time because they know that you have access to these things. Okay, so having mentioned these three, I want to take us back to the foundation. And the foundation here is HR roles and responsibilities, introducing us to the world of recruitment and selection, HR administration, training and development, performance management, employee relations, health and safety. These are very, very important for you to have a good going in the HR space. You can't take one out of the other. You can't say in my organization, I just do recruitment. Okay, that's fine. That's your JD, right? Recruitment officer, recruitment specialist. Okay, that's fine. But honestly, if I were you, I would poke nose into HR admin, HR training, performance, employee. I have a colleague who told me about the story of another colleague of hers that went to another organization. He was taken in as the performance management officer. What if I told you that within 1 year he got promoted because he was able to display skills in vendor management, in recruitment and documentation, and human resource software? He only came in as performance management. But he did not sit on his horse. He decided to be relevant. So these aspects of HRs are very key. You need to be able to learn and understand this. We all know about recruitment and selection. We know about training. We know about performance. But I want you to focus more on this. We'll be diving into strategies on all of this during the virtual internship. I want you to stick around. Honestly, you will gain quite a lot from this. So this is just introduction. Most of our discussions will come in during the live class. I hope you actually enjoy this class. Thank you.